Hey everyone, welcome. I am so excited today to be interviewing Jessica Adams with One Sotheby's International Realty. Now, Jessica is a huge agent, global real estate advisor, I should say. And she's actually the #1 female agent in One Sotheby's International Realty, #6 company-wide. Jessica did over 100 million last year in 2021. And One Sotheby's International Realty spans from Miami to Jacksonville. So the East Coast, think of the East Coast, think of Jess. So welcome, Jessica. I'm so happy to have you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. This is going to be fun.
Excellent. Well, as you know, this series, it's all about interviewing top luxury global real estate advisors. And you are just part of this elite group, right? And what I love about you is you're so innovative, you do incredible marketing, and you make it look so easy. So let's jump right in and kind of, pick your brain a little bit. We want to learn your secrets. And let's start off by talking about your biggest sale ever. I would love to know more about that.
So my biggest sale ever actually was a pretty cool story. They started off as an internet lead, probably about 9 years ago. And I literally got a piece of paper on my desk that was like, here, follow up with this person. It was on my old team. I got him on the phone. Super nice family, super genuine. And honestly, they were looking back in the day for like $1 million condo. They were from the West Coast, so they were premier people, ironically. And then they came over to Miami. The first condo they bought with me was a $3 million condo. Then they bought a $10 million house. And then they bought my $16 million property. And then at the same time, so it was kind of a dual, we sold their 16 million and he bought another 10 million. So nice. I would say a combination of 26 million is how that sale turned out. And honestly, it was truly relationship at that point. They just trusted me. The sale of the 16 million was last year. And I literally just called them up and said, listen, I think this is a really good time to sell. They were contemplating it because they were going to be empty nesters. And they just knew that this was the time. If they were going to ever do it, this is what they were going to do. And then we're going to move to a condo. So that's kind of how it happened. And I am really good at staying in touch with clients. So that is if you ask me where my referral business comes from, probably about 80% of my business comes from previous clients or clients that tell other clients about me.
So I love that. So it sounds like one of your superpowers is staying in touch with past clients. How do you do that when you're so busy with your whirlwind, your day-to-day stuff? How do you do that?
So I pride myself in my back-end system. I always tell new agents, like, you can't live out of your email. No one is talented enough to handle the volume that I handle or anyone else handles in the high-end luxury world and be able to remember people's birthdays, people's anniversaries, people's everything. And you have to have a back-end system. I am lucky enough to have a husband who is ultra intelligent and created basically my brain into a back-end system that runs our transactions, our marketing, our commissions, our, client database, our follow-up, and everything's automated. And truly that has changed my life because I believe as good as I am, I'm only good as what I have behind me. I also think that you also have to have a support staff that sees your vision. And if you don't have someone that's there to support you with all those different facets, you can't be your best self.
I love that. Just out of curiosity, what tech are you using? A specific technology platform or using a few different things together?
No, we use everything in one. So he literally created the framework and created it from the ground up. It's one of our projects that we're discussing, putting it out there. We've already met with a software development company to try to see, maybe that's something that we could be able to bring to agents. Cause I think that's the biggest issue. I know some people use Monday.com, some people use different things, but ours is kind of all encompassing. So it's kind of nice because everything is there. All your documents are there. Everything is there that you need. So you're not, using 7 different things. So one thing we do use outside of it is MailChimp. We do use that just to send out our email stuff, and obviously social media and all of those other things, but it controls our marketing. So when we close the deal, Everything gets notified for flyers, for social media, for, email blast, all the different things. So it's
Mhm.
all on docket. So there's not any question, was that done? Was that not done?
Right. So having that system, it's really crucial. And it sounds like you've mastered that. So congratulations. I'm sure that's just one of the reasons why you're so successful. I love the fact also that you have support, and 100% agree. You have to have a system, you have to have support, and then you have to use the system. So I love that. But let's shift gears a little bit. And we spend a lot of time in the car in real estate. I'm sure you'll agree, right? So what is your go-to song right now when you're in the car and you need to like pump yourself up?
So as you know, I have two daughters and they are totally trending right now. And their go-to singer right now is Dua Lipa. And anything that she does gets me going. It's fun. Me and my girls like sing in the car all the time. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Oh, I love that. That's fun. A lot of fun. What is the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
I meditate. I have two go-to meditations that I do. I do the 6-phase meditation, and I also do priming by Tony Robbins. And I think it just kind of depends on the mood I'm in. The 6-phase is a little bit more quiet and calming, and the Tony Robbins priming one is more like get up and go.
Love that. What is the last thing that you do before you go to bed? I'm sure it can be challenging for you to unwind.
Two things. I mean, either my husband and I will just watch TV, like Netflix and chill, or I read. Those are my two kind of, if I really need to wind down, I read. And I really like to read a lot of different things, motivational things, just kind of like getting my brain going. I'm a morning person. So I like, by probably around 5:30, 6 a.m., if I wake up, I start making my plan and my list for the day. So my brain really goes on overload. So I have to write it down, because if not, by the time the day gets going, it's too much.
Right. Absolutely. So what are your top 3 skills, would you say?
So I think that I have this really cool skill of finding houses for people. Like I can walk into a house and automatically know if that's going to be a good fit for someone or not. I think that I'm a really good reader of people in general. Like I can listen to someone and kind of get their sense of who the person they are, of what their wants and needs are. And then I think the second thing is I think I'm a really good listener.
Okay. So good listener, high emotional intelligence, and you have that good house finder radar. You just kind of
matchmaking skills.
Oh, matchmaker. I love that. I love that. That's
great. Actually my thing on Instagram is Jessica, the matchmaker.
Oh, I love that. I love that. What are you most proud of right now?
I think right now, I think I've gotten to the point in my career after 10 years that I like that I'm such a go-getter, but I'm happy in that I have really good balance right now. I think that I've reached a point where I'm okay when things slow down, but I'm also okay when things like ramp back up again. And I've learned the balance of being a mom, being a top producer, and enjoying it. And I think that's the hardest part in our career, is actually taking the time to enjoy our successes. And I've really tried to embrace that. And I'll be honest, my business coach, who's Jim Miller, who are, very well-known broker in the Sotheby's world, he's really helped me kind of hone that in, because I've always been I don't need someone to push me any more than I push myself. But I think the opposite, I've needed that kind of stop and smell the roses mentality.
Yeah, 100%. I can relate to that. And I have to also remind myself to take a minute and to enjoy, right, what you have, what you've worked for, instead of always saying next, what's next.
And it's really hard, especially when things are going and you're in flow and the next deal and the next deal and next deal. But, I think 2021 was one of those like moments in your career that I never thought I would reach, to be honest. I think a lot of people around me saw it, but I think that I needed to stop and say, wow, it's a huge accomplishment.
Absolutely. Love that. That's great. So let's play hot or not. So this is really fun. I'm going to ask you, I'm going to say a few different things and you're going to say hot or not. All right. We'll just have a little fun together. All right. So tiny houses.
Not.
Video,
Yes. Yes. Hot. Sorry.
Facebook,
Not.
Instagram,
Hot.
TikTok,
Hot.
real estate market,
Not.
sneakers at work,
Medium.
medium, yeah, medium, sneakers at work,
Oh, hot.
Zoom meetings,
Not.
home office,
Both. Not
medium.
need them, but I actually truly believe that the interaction you get in an office gives you your work, I don't know, your flow of being with people. I think our industry is so important to be with other people. I think sometimes we miss out by being at home.
Agree. Last one, green kitchens.
Oh, not.
Okay, fun. Very fun. What do you treat yourself to when you want to reward yourself? Because I know we need to celebrate our wins when you work really hard. So what do you treat yourself to?
Traveling. I'm a huge traveler. So a lot of people don't know this about me, but actually when I turned 30, which is, I guess, almost 14 years ago, I took a trip around the world and I traveled by myself. And I think traveling is such a huge inner knowledge of who you are as a person. I think not only seeing how small you are on earth, but how important it is to have like a global understanding of what other people live through and kind of give you the perspective of how amazing the country you live in and the people that surround you and how important just learning about different cultures. I think it's so incredible to kind of see how other people live.
Wow, that's incredible. That's good for you. I think everyone should try to do that at some point, and even a small trip if you can't travel the world, but definitely travel and even be, alone. It's hard to travel alone. I've done it as well, and it did not come easy to me. So I really applaud that. That's really cool. What do you think that clients want most from you?
I think they want like an understanding of what they're going through. I think most clients just want to know that you're listening and that you understand their needs. I think a lot of times we try to sell ourselves when we're doing, especially listing presentations. And I tend to try to focus on what they want during the listing presentation. So I'm really all about sending everything ahead of time, having them know who I am ahead of time so that my time at my listing presentation is focusing on their needs.
Love that. That's great. So kind of concluding and wrapping up today, what would you tell your younger self? If you could go back in time.
If I could go back in time, I would totally tell my younger self, have patience, and know that your future will be better than you ever thought possible. So I think that a lot of times, and I notice this, especially with the younger generation, that it's a lot of immediate gratification. And I think that our industry especially takes time to build, takes time to nurture, and definitely you need to have the patience and the endurance to kind of be there for the long haul.
So thank you so much for joining us today. I so enjoyed meeting with you, Jessica. So everybody make sure that you follow Jessica Adams, One Sotheby's International Realty. Check out her social media, check out her TikTok. You definitely want to follow her. And thank you so much for sharing your secret sauce with us today. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This was fun.